Hey boys, welcome back to round 4 of this week's tips and preview. Obviously, last round didn't go too well. I got 2 out of fucking 8, dude. 2 out of 8. What a shit round. Holy God. So, the 2 I got, Cowboys, obviously, big winners. And the Titans. The Titans beat the Tigers. Sorry to all the Tigers fans. Everyone was commenting that the Tigers were going to win again, but Titans too good, bro. Titans too good. Everyone else shit though. 2 out of 8. Surely everyone else went bad as well. It just seems like such a lot of upsets. But yeah, let's move on to round 4. First up, we got Rabbitohs versus the Bulldogs, and straight away I'm tipping the Bulldogs. And for the Bulldogs, Greg Eastwood returns. Obviously, that's a pretty big plus. Eastwood's still a very, very good player. But the big loss, obviously, Sam Burgess is out. It's apparently not that bad. They're saying maybe just a week, so that's, it's good news for Rabbitohs and Sam Burgess. But yeah, I'm not someone who thinks Sam Burgess carries the Rabbitohs or anything like that, but the fact that Adam Reynolds and now Sam Burgess, 2 of their most experienced players, 2 of their better players, it's going to be a bit much, I think. And the Bulldogs, they lost last round, didn't they? Yeah, they lost. They lost last round, so they're going to be fired up. And the Rabbitohs, I just think they'll struggle. So I'm tipping the Bulldogs in this one. Next, we got the big game. This is the big game. The Broncos versus the Cowboys. Grand final rematch. The Cowboys are the exact same 17. It's so crazy, dude. Surely someone's going to get injured. Someone has got to get injured. They can't keep playing the same 17. It's ridiculous. Every other team is getting riddled with injuries, and the Cowboys are going strong. But obviously, big winners last week. Broncos should have won last week. The Panthers just got up. Bit of a terrible second half, honestly. But Lachlan Maranta returns. I'm not a fan of Maranta at all, so I don't think this is a huge bonus at all. Apparently, Jack Reed is out. I saw that he his eye, his retina. But that means Kahu goes into the centers, and Kahu's, he's a great player. But I'm tipping the Broncos. I'm a Broncos supporter, and just the fact that it's at home, just the fact that the Broncos lost last week, the Cowboys came off a huge win. The Broncos, I feel, have a bit more to play for in this game, but it's gonna be a good game regardless. Really, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great game. But yeah, I'm tipping the Broncos. Bit of bias, but I feel like they're due for a win. And then next up, we got the Raiders versus the Titans. So the Raiders unchanged from last week, but that still means that they're missing their two halves, which is obviously not ideal. Drawing with Newcastle last week, it's really hard to tell how good a performance that was from the Raiders. It was still good. They're missing 2 of the best players, and they still drew with a full-strength Newcastle side, but Newcastle haven't been very good. Let's just be honest. And the Titans going pretty well this year. They're unchanged from last week, and I've got to tip the Titans. It is at Raiders' home ground, obviously, and that actually is a pretty big bonus for the Raiders, because most teams do struggle to travel to Canberra. It is a tough ground to play at for away teams, but the Titans, they're in good form, and the Raiders, like I said, they're still without their best players, so I feel like the Titans are going to be maybe a touch too strong, but who knows? The Titans are probably gonna fuck up soon, but hopefully the Titans can get up again. Next up, we got the Roosters versus the Eels. The Roosters not having a very good season. Brendan Elliott will come in for Copley, obviously, who's injured, and this dude, I'm not fucking pronouncing that name. He comes onto the bench, and Jamie Buhrer is 18th man. I don't know if that means he got injured or he's coming back from injury, but Buhrer is a decent player. But obviously the Seagulls won last week. I didn't tip them. Did they win? God, I can't remember. Yeah, they did win. Obviously, Brett Stewart is a pretty big inclusion for the Seagulls. I didn't actually realize he was playing last week, but he's a pretty big in, so I'm going to tip the Seagulls. I don't know, the Roosters are struggling so much, and I feel the Seagulls are probably about to click. I feel like, their side is really good. I feel like it's about to start clicking. And the Roosters, I just feel like they're still going to struggle. They've just been pretty bad, so I don't see them really fixing it anytime soon. And the Seagulls definitely, they have a bit of, they got to turn it around this season. So tipping the Seagulls. Next we have Dragons versus the Panthers. Dragons are unchanged after beating the Rabbitohs. And Panthers have a few changes. Trent Merrin and Wanga Blake return. Yayo goes to the back row. Elijah Taylor, Tyrone Peachey going back to the bench. And yeah, the Panthers have a really strong side. This one's a tough one though. It is a tough one. I'm really on the fence with this one. The Panthers are still missing a couple of really good players. Obviously, Tamar Martin, he was pretty good on debut. And they've just got a really good forward pack. Like, look at their bench. Tyrone Peachey, Latu, Matangi, and Elijah Taylor. Like, extremely good bench. And the Dragons, they're sort of a grinding side, but I'm going to go with the Panthers. I feel like the Panthers side can do it. Jamie Soward's been in exceptional form the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to go with the Panthers. It's going to be tough though. Dragons obviously coming off a pretty big win last week. Next we have the fucking Warriors Knights, dude. The Warriors Knights. I'm going to tip Warriors. How could anyone not tip them? Fucking Warriors. If the Warriors lose this game, literally season over. Season is over. I don't even know. They're playing at home. They're versing just the god-awful Knight side. Oh, my God. The Knights are unchanged, but Matautia could be out through suspension. Conrad Hurrell and Sam Lasoni come onto the bench. Conrad Hurrell off the bench. I don't know why he hasn't been in the side. Obviously, there's some issues there, but bringing Conrad Hurrell on as like a back rower, probably be a pretty good option. He's very powerful. So, how can the Warriors not win this? Who the fuck is going to tip the Knights? Oh, the Knights are probably... if you look at the Knights side, they still got a pretty, Actually, no, I can't look at their side and think it's good. They got a couple of experienced halves, but Trent Hodgkinson is shithouse. Why is Trent Hodgkinson the captain? I don't even know anymore. But, Dane Gagai, obviously a great player. He's playing at fullback now. Other than that, Corbin Sims, Jeremy Smith, God, if they win, the Warriors, don't let me down again, please. And then we have the West Tigers versus Eels. So I was looking at this one before, and this one is tough. I'm still 50-50. Chris Lawrence is suspended. Dean Hallertau will go to the back row, and Farah makes his return. So Robbie Farah is back from injury. I don't know how far away Matt Ballon is, but I'm gonna be surprised. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens when Ballon comes back. They'll probably put maybe put Farah at lock. Honestly, just going off topic a bit here, the Tigers could actually have a really strong attacking side. They could put Farah at the lock, Ballon in the dummy half role, and then obviously keep the back line the same. Obviously, they wouldn't have the forward power, but their attacking play could be just exceptional. But, we'll see what happens there. And Ma'u returns. Not too much else, but this one's tough. The Eels, they're starting to look pretty good. The West Tigers, they obviously lost the Titans last week, so how do you rate them now? They did win a couple of good ones, but I'm going to go with the Eels. I think the Eels are just starting to click. Obviously, Norman and Foran are a pretty good combo. A good forward pack, a good back line. I've got to go with the Eels. The West Tigers could produce something special again. It's just the way the Tigers could win any game, really, if they're on song, but if they're a bit off, then they could lose pretty easily. So I'm going to go with the Eels. It's probably a safe bet. And then the last game of the round, Sharks versus Storm. And the last game, it was so difficult as well. This one was tricky. The Sharks are the same as last week after losing to the Seagulls. Fucking goddamn, the 1 week I didn't pick the Seagulls and they lose to the Sharks. I mean, they win against the Sharks, who I picked. And Melbourne, Tohu Harris has gone to the centres and Kenny Bromwich goes into the back row. So I'll tip the Sharks. I'll tip the Sharks after losing last week. They're at home. The Storm haven't lost yet. You know, they've got to lose soon, surely. So this could be the week. And I think Sharks have had a pretty good record over the Storm over the last few years. I feel like maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but it feels right, doesn't it? Yeah, it's at Shark Park. So I'm going to tip the Sharks. I think they'll bounce back. And the Storm will probably have an off night for once. And might lose a game. So they're my tips. Comment your tips in the comments section. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you boys next time.